So I want to talk about people that are prejudiced. I want to talk about racism, racist, and I want to talk about the spirit of hate. Okay, so when you really think about it, people that tend to be like prejudiced or racist or both or whatever tend to connect. Number one, it could be a learned way of thinking or mentality as you call it, but more than likely hate first and racism and prejudice first starts with you connecting it to something that you have a problem with, or in general, it could be just something that you are looking to blame. You are looking. You have a problem of your own, and you're looking to have an outlet of somebody to blame. But looking back or whatever, is more it comes from people that experience some type of injustice in their life, and so they point the finger at everybody that looks like that. What I found, one of the best movies, and I put this on my page before, um, I think like 2 months ago or something like that, it was with American History X. That's one of the best movies to me when, like, to overcome like racism and prejudice or whatever. Just I don't want to. I don't want to be a spoiler for that movie for people who haven't seen it. But if you haven't seen American History X, you need to see it. I love that movie. I love the way that he was an innocent young teenager and his dad didn't really like black people, and he was kind of putting stuff in his ear, and he had a teacher that he liked that was black and was a good teacher, a history teacher, and his dad was persuading him otherwise. And I love the way that I'm sorry, I don't love the way, but his father died, and I didn't mean to say I love the way his father died, I meant to say something else, but I just love the way that the movie went. But his father died, and his father got killed by a black guy. He ended up hating all black people or whatever, and becoming like a leader, an advocate for racism against blacks and other races and stuff, but mostly against blacks. And I just love how he went to prison, and his whole way of being and mentality changed when his own people had betrayed him, and black guy that he hated so much had actually helped him. And it's just not true just in just that movie or whatever. It's like that happens in all cases. It's like you can't judge everybody just based on stuff you experience. And I actually fell into that category too, because that's why I say I do like the irritated Genie. I think he's a good speaker, but I don't bad number one. I'm not bashing all homosexuals and transgenders or whatever. I'm not to judge your life. That's the most high. Just like the most high will judge other people on stuff that they do, murderers, rapists, kids. Like, cause anybody can live their life a certain way, but it's up to you to change that or whatever. And then some people may not see nothing wrong with it. So I'm not bashing it. I'm just my what I'm supposed to do is to I say my mission here is to expose deception. So I just said that. Getting back to what I was saying, yeah. So it's kind of like you can't categorize everybody just related to it. And I feel in that category too. I was like, with my last relationship, I was like, oh, I can't stand black men, this and this and that. And most of my gang stalkers were black stars, started getting mad and agitated and like looking at all black people a certain type of way. But you can't do that because all black people not like that. I'm actually African American. I'm not a gang stalker. There are other people on the internet, on YouTube, that are talking about gang stalking and they're black or different races, but I'm just making my point. It's like, so everybody is not the same or whatever. I find myself judging all men in a certain type of way, all black men, or just all men in general, like they can't be trusted based on the bad experience that I had with a heartless person or whatever, in a relationship before that with somebody who was kind of trifling. So you can't categorize everybody the same way. But anyway, like I was saying, one example, like I already used an example of the white guy in American History X, like with Malcolm X. He was so strongly preaching against white people this, white people that, and I don't know much about Malcolm X. Only thing I really know about Malcolm X is the movie and his famous line, "We didn't land on Plymouth Rock, landed on us." But off of that movie, I don't really know too much about his speeches and stuff like that or whatever. But in general, y'all can say that's silly or whatever, but in general, I'm just being honest. In general, he talks so much about white people this, white people that, and the devil uses his own people against him to kill him. So it's like, and no white person even killed you. Y'all can say all day that the white man got his people to do it, but they still did it in general. And it's not just the color. See, that's what Satan likes. He likes to hide behind races of people or different genders of people and have them do terrible stuff to people and have everybody be like, oh, everybody's this way, everybody's that way. It's not the white man, it's the devil, it's the spirit behind racist people that are evil. It's not Khalid Muhammad and or who else are certain black activists. It's not these people that are speaking out against hatred. Even if you say that you're defending yourself, which we have a right to defend ourselves, because a lot of us, as far as being our ancestors being enslaved and stuff like that, and taking our identity away, we lost a sense of who we were, and we were treated unfairly. We were given an injustice. We'll just say that. But we can't say all white people are a certain way, because there were a lot of white people that were against it or whatever. Even if you look at 12 Years a Slave, you see that he got tricked. My two white men fell into slavery and all that tragic stuff that happened. And then he tried to find a way out, and the white man actually helped him. A heaven sent white man helped him and helped him get out of slavery or whatever. Sent the letter. So it's like you can't categorize everybody the same way. Even if, and as a black person, even if we talking about y'all, oh, it's this and y'all, oh, out there. Okay, we were all promised 40 acres and a mule, but in general, it's like we have to in a crisis. There it's more than just the Willie Lynch letter. Black people, we get frustrated and we look for somebody to blame, so it's so easy to blame the white man. Yes, certain things are set up in a way and it's not fair and stuff like that, but in general you can't blame the white man for everything. I can blame all day my parents for, in a certain sense, that, oh, I wasn't raised with love or whatever, nobody really helped me. But when you get closer to God or whatever, you realize that all this stuff had to happen for a reason, to make a soldier out of you, to realize that you can't really depend on nobody but God or whatever. God allows certain things to happen to make you stronger, and yeah, I to a certain extent, like I said, I experienced being hateful or whatever. And then to a certain extent, you gotta watch certain people that you listen to, because I said that before in the video I raised on here about um, stop looking at Satan like he's Freddy Krueger. You kind of find yourself getting on board to the racist train. So I just said it. You have to really be careful. Even with Irritated Genie, like I said, even though I feel like he's highly intelligent, and what he says about like the homosexuality, I feel like it makes a lot of sense with that, but that's in all races. They're doing it with all. If it was just black people they were against, they wouldn't have secret elitist transgenders. They fooling the masses. They do the agenda they're doing. The MK Ultras, other people of different races getting gang stalked. It's a worldwide problem. That's why I said it's not just the Willie Lynch letter. It's the protocols of the elders. Willie Lynch letter was just made for black people or whatever, because we're the most lost, but and we're enslaved, but the whole world is gonna be I'm sorry, the whole world is under control or whatever, and they have a plan to take over the whole world. So if you're hating and stuff like that, it's okay to vent every now and then. We all go through it, but once you realize that's the devil, he wants you to do that. God is love. God wants us to love, not love. I'm talking differently about. I'm not talking about love your enemies, love people that beat you, and if somebody rape your daughter or sell your daughter, then you supposed to love them. No, you hate your enemies or whatever. You hate those who do bad to you. I don't believe that love your enemies or whatever. I don't believe it, because I told you guys a lot of stuff in the Bible. I feel like it's been switched up and taken out and taken in. I don't think God wants you to, if somebody hangs your mother or whatever, like just speaking now and it back in Bible days, I mean slavery days, if somebody hangs your mother or whatever, before they all gang rape her and stuff like that, and hang her and then burn her, it's like you're not supposed to, that doesn't even make any sense to love to love somebody like that. You could tell that part was added in or whatever as part of control mechanism. But real enemies, we're supposed to love our neighbors and stuff like that. Even if somebody does bad, you decide if there's something you can forgive or whatever if it was not that bad. But in general, you're not supposed to love those who. That's like me saying I love my gang stalkers. I'd be lying if I get on here and say that I'm praying for my gang stalker. I pray that God will allow them to be removed or whatever. I'm not gonna pray that please bless these people and help them to see the right. No, I don't care or whatever. It's like I wish death upon them just like they wish death upon me. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying, you can't categorize everybody the same way. We need to learn how to hate Satan for what he does, the spirit of Satan and what he does, how he's deceptive and hides in the games that he's played with us and able to fool the whole world behind races of people and making us blame the people and not blame him. So there's just something to think about.